Okay. I'm mentoring for the GitHub Auto Update project, and working under me are my mentees Vipul Sinha and Rishi Vyas. In this project, we have tried to implement a basic REST API, basic REST API. You can see the main purpose of implementing the REST API was most open source organizations, they have a lot of developers working, and they work on different softwares. So uh, i thought of implementing an API which would return a list of developers as well as have written devices, because in this particular suppose there is an organization which works on various devices. So my main motive was that the REST API would simply store the data of the developers and the devices in the database and fetch as a, depending upon the various endpoints. So here you can see general block diagram of REST API. Actually, this is a general block diagram for any kind of REST API. You can see HTTP request comes, and then what happens is the web server, the HTTP server checks whether sends it to the application. The application checks whether it is the kind of request it is. If it is a GET request, it would see the kind of URL it is. Then it will see whether the URL the URL that has been requested, whether it is protected, protected URL, that is whether it requires authentication or not. So we haven't gone into so much complicacy. Means in our REST API is a simple one. We haven't used any kind of authentication. So we simply the it checks for two endpoints, one for developers and another for devices. Again, for specific devices, there is another endpoint which is specified by developer slash the developer ID, and for devices, it will be a device code name, as you will see as we go on. So the main motivation of doing this project was, we know that often people update their GitHub accounts. So what happens is our API fetches all the data from the MongoDB database itself. It is a cloud database, but the problem here is that uh, we have to continuously manually monitor the GitHub accounts of each of those developers and then update the database manually. But I thought, how could we automate this process? During this, I faced a number of issues that GitHub APIs are rate limited, so you cannot request them arbitrarily large number of times. Means there is a restriction on the number of times which we can request them. So I thought of updating the MongoDB database once every day using the GitHub API. So my main motivation is to run a particular script which will fetch the information from the GitHub API and then update the database. So this is the block diagram of the application I have tried to implement. Now, one more motivation I must mention is that I also wanted to make the application as much scalable as possible. Basically, I wanted to learn more about system design also. So you might ask that why have I made this thing so complicated? The reason for that is the simplest approach would be to simply create a server.js file which would listen for HTTP requests and then serve the JSON output accordingly. But my aim was to make the application a bit more durable. So I have used an Nginx reverse proxy. What this reverse proxy does is that it will look for incoming requests on port 80 and then pass the request to the main application. Now, this Redis container you see is mainly used for performance improvement. It's not like it would not work without this container, but it simply enhances the performance. I would show you it in the demo. So here I have described the how reverse proxy works. So basically, it is just a server which sits behind a firewall inside a local network. So as you can see, reverse proxy, the advantage is that it enhances the security as well as it makes your application more durable, because the requests don't come directly to your application, they come through a reverse proxy. If there is heavy traffic, your reverse proxy is going to handle the heavy traffic. Uh, as again I told, the Redis is used just for caching purpose. It is only there for improving the performance, and the main application container which houses the entire logic of the REST API. So here I have again elaborated the how our application is interacting with the MongoDB database. So you can see the application first tries to fetch the required information from the Redis container. If it is there, it would directly send the response. But if it is not there, it is again going to the database and then retrieving the information, storing it in the Redis container, and then finally sending the response. Coming to the main portion of this project, in this for this PSOC, my main motive was to implement this portion of the application. So what would this portion do? No, basically, what happens is the application container is going to request the GitHub API for the required information. Then it will check whether whether there is changes according to the old data or not. If there are changes, it will update the database, or else it is just going to keep the data as it is. So now I would like to call Rishi to explain this about this auto update feature.
Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know how WhatsApp auto backup feature works? They have scheduled the backup process for each day. Let me introduce you Cron. Cron is a tool to schedule our tasks or commands. So by using Cron, we schedule some tasks such as fetching the GitHub API and updating it to our MongoDB database at a certain time of the day. That's how we will just update the GitHub API up to date daily. Thank you.
Hello,
Yes,
is Vipul there?
Vipul.
Hello.
You may
Hmm.
continue.
Hello. Yes. As Annamity told us that we are using REST API, which is dependent upon various dependencies. And now, if anyone of different operating system uses our API, then he or she may not able to have installed all dependencies. So that's why we are using Docker to check all the dependencies that we need for our REST API, and will work on every operating system. That's all.
Okay, so I would like so I would like to show a quick demo about what we have implemented until now. Uh, this is actually the my application running. You can see here, this is the entire project is actually containerized. So all these things you see, the proxy server, the web, and the cache store, all these are containerized applications, and all these are getting initialized by Docker Compose. So you can see here that uh, this is our main application, which I have shown you in this slide. uh, just a second. So this is the app which I have shown you here, the web. The proxy server is this one. Wait a minute. The proxy server is this one, and the Redis container is shown here. This is the Redis container. So you can see whenever I request, for example, I'm using Postman to make a request. if I make a request, you can see it's if I just go to the devices endpoint, it will show all the list of all devices. And you can also see here that whenever I request, the request first goes to the proxy server and then only it goes to the web. It's not showing here, but it ultimately goes to the web application, and that is how it is returning the response. Then I will like to show about the caching. So wait a minute. Am I exceeding the time limit?
No, you can go on.
Hello?
I think there is some problem with the other team.
Okay. Okay, so all the three components have started, and now I'm going to make a request. Suppose I'm requesting for this particular device. So I made the first request and it returned the response, and you can see the time duration here it took. It took about 3.9 seconds. And when you see here, you can see that it is written fetching from DB. So it actually went to the MongoDB database and then fetched the response. But if I request for the second time, you can see here, it has been reduced to 26 milliseconds. So huge performance improvement. And you can actually see that it is for the second time, it will fetch from the Redis data store. Means it is going to store in the Redis data store only for 1 hour. After that, the data is going to expire. And after that, if you request for the same data, it is again going through the same process of, it will go to the DB and then it will store it in the Redis data store and then it will give the response. So this is it. And if anyone has any questions, you can ask. Okay. Any questions? Hello.
Okay, are there any questions for GitHub Auto Update? It seems a good work to me.
Hello.
Yeah. Are there any questions for GitHub Auto Update? If not, let's move on to our next presentation.